What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about Lucid. I want to go over some of the current data points, break it down on why it's going down as much as it is today, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off, Lucid is down 2.46%. A lot of volatility, so 334 the low, 355 the high, 10.04 million shares being traded, 36.2 is the average. Majority of the volume being done so far today is linked to shorting as well as algorithmic trading, so I'll talk about that in a second. But so far, 2 transactions being done on the secondary market above $100,000. One regrettably was a sell. You can tell that based on the bid, the ask, and the selling price. So anything that shows as a bid is a sell, and that was for $675,000 in premium. So not necessarily the best. When it comes down to Lucid though, there has been no official news to really justify this downtrend, no new ratings coming from analysts. There was this Form 4 that did come out, which did show this right here. This individual who is a director did sell 534 shares, transaction code F, so that is for tax purposes. So very small amount, so this is kind of just nothing to really pay attention to all in all. There was PCE that did come out, and I seem to be the only one pointing out that it wasn't necessarily the best. So in my pre-market video, I kind of pointed out, and this was under Trending Stocks' channel, but I did point out how a lot of articles are saying that it came in line with expectations, such as right here. So looking at the price index. But what the feds truly like to look at is the core. So the core came in a little bit hotter, so 2.6 versus 2.5, and right now on a month over month, no change. So in reality, not necessarily the best. So I was anticipating more of a pullback regardless of that for a lot of growth stocks. As of right now, looking for the September 18th meeting, you now have this going up slightly, so 11.9% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut, which would be pretty good for the whole EV sector. As I've stated, it's very sensitive to interest rates and stuff like that. And then for the November 7th meeting, if we haven't had that 50 basis point cut by this meeting, then we're going to have another 25, as there's a 59% likelihood of the 25 basis point cut for that, and then a 7.5% for a 75 basis point cut as of current prices, or current interest rates. So yeah, I think in general that will be a very big catalyst for the EV market, but all in all, just a lot of volatility. One thing that is really driving Lucid lower today, and again, there's no real context, so unless there's something out there, someone said something that it's very not official news, shorts are doubling the hell down. So shorts are increasing 4.57 million shares, and that is net. So like I said, roughly around 10 million shares have been traded. So a good 50% at least, because this 4.57 is net, right? So this, like, pretty much 80% of the volume is associated to shorts. So it's kind of crazy. Why are they doubling down? I'm not really sure, unless it is truly because of PCE, or maybe some other piece of news that, again, that hasn't really hit mainstream media, or someone just might have said something, because there's a lot of different accounts, I guess members of Lucid, that have Twitter accounts, and each of them correspond with people, so who knows. But 27.58% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 244.21 million shares overall are being shorted. Utilization is 91.67. And so I just wanted to bring this up, yesterday's news up one last time. So I talked about this yesterday, what this does mean. Ultimately, Lucid's just preparing for the foreseeable future, whether it be the Gravity or the mid-sized SUV, because Graphite 1 hasn't actually built their facility yet. So again, I see this as very, very good stuff, and Lucid finally thinking ahead. But there was this that was posted by Nick. So he's kind of elaborating on the EV guy's post right here. So Nick said, providing a bit of context here, an EV battery is comprised of cells and modules. We produce modules, so that's in-house, and integrate those into a pack that at Lucid in our facility. And then we source the cells from LG Chem, Samsung, and whatever else, Panasonic as well. So I think a lot of people were speculating that Lucid was going to completely build EV batteries going forward, and so that's not necessarily the case. So just wanted to add some context to that, but nonetheless though, it kind of shows that Lucid is preparing for the future. Looking at options, 190,000 in calls, 188 in puts, and majority or at least consensus, 43% of all the options being done so far are bearish. Of the call options that are being purchased, you do see a consensus for it to be above $4 next week. And then on the flip side, anticipate it for it to be sub 3. So both extremes. So anticipate a hell of a lot of volatility when it comes down to Lucid. If you guys haven't learned options yet, just research it. I'll do a dedicated video this upcoming weekend all about some basic terminologies, things that you need to know. Even yesterday, I did sell quite a lot of calls, covered calls at 350. And so yeah, ultimately that's free money for if you have shares, or you can do different options, right? Bullish, bearish, whatever floats your boat. But right now, as it stands, looking at Lucid, so the actual fib levels. So right now it is at $3.37. So it is trading between these 2 points right here. So this S2 and this S1. So $3.25 is going to be that next strong support. And then 343 is going to be the next strong resistance / target. So no doubtably, it's just going to trade within this range for the rest of the week, unless there is a lot of buying that starts to happen, or maybe shorts kind of close out some of their positions for the weekend or whatever, but you might just see it flirting with this S1. So all in all, not necessarily the best. On the actual chart, still higher percentile of the Bollinger Band. Stochastic, it is at 36, so it is arguably getting to kind of oversold status. So again, that could really help Lucid if there is some news. And the number of retail investors are getting out. So not necessarily the best. As of right now, moving over to IBKR. So it does have a pivot point of $2.79. So for as long as Lucid is above that, then it is still anticipated to be somewhat optimistic. And so today's and over the last several trading days has just been consolidation. But if this 279 is to break, then anticipate kind of the high ones or the low twos to be next. As of late, there's been no real analyst ratings, nothing like that. And the latest Morningstar report does show the fair market value for Lucid being $4.39. If you're looking for a lot of good free information, such as everything I just showed you, take a look at IBKR, link in the description below and also the comments. But with all that said, I appreciate all of you guys watching. Give yourself a shout out if you have been buying, if you've been selling. What have you been doing with Lucid? And yeah, so let me know your thoughts on the future. Did you guys anticipate kind of this week to go as according to plan, or are you a little bit more disappointed? So with all that, I appreciate all of you guys watching, and yeah, stay tuned for the weekend video on options and everything else.